Today, we're diving deep into the world of vintage coins with a special focus on the Abraham Lincoln 1954 1-cent penny coin. If you've ever come across one of these in your change jar, old coin collection, or inherited stash, you might be holding on to a small piece of history that could be worth a lot more than just 1 cent. Let's explore its background, its key features, and its current market value. First, let's start with the history behind the coin. The Lincoln cent, introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. This iconic penny replaced the Indian head cent and was designed by Victor David Brenner. It features Lincoln's right-facing portrait on the obverse side, a design so timeless that it's still in use today with minor modifications. Now, the 1954 Lincoln cent is part of the Wheat Pennies series. These coins were minted from 1909 through 1958 and are named for the 2 wheat stalks that appear on the reverse side. The 1954 penny is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, weighing 3.11 grams. It was produced in 3 mint locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. If your 1954 penny doesn't have a mint mark, it was made in Philadelphia. If it has a small d below the date, it was minted in Denver. And if there's an S, that means it came from San Francisco. Each of these varieties has different levels of rarity and value. Let's talk mintage numbers. In 1954, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 71 million pennies, the Denver Mint over 251 million, and the San Francisco Mint a little over 96 million. So yes, these coins aren't super rare in circulated condition, but that doesn't mean they aren't valuable. Some versions and conditions of the 1954 penny can fetch serious cash. So, what gives a 1954 penny its value? The answer lies in a few key factors: condition, mint mark, and any errors or varieties. A coin in average circulated condition might only be worth a few cents to $1. But if your penny is in mint state condition, that means it looks almost brand new with minimal or no wear. It can be worth much more. For example, a 1954 Lincoln cent from Philadelphia in MS65 red condition can sell for up to $40 to $50. If it's from Denver or San Francisco in the same pristine condition, you could be looking at $70 or more, depending on the market. These values jump even higher if your coin is graded MS66 or MS67 by a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC, and here's where things get really interesting. If your 1954 penny has an error, such as a double die, off-center strike, or repunched mint mark, you might be holding a coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Some double die errors from the 1950s have sold for over $1,000 at auction. Always inspect your coins closely or have them examined by an expert. There are also some high-end examples of 1954 pennies that have fetched amazing prices. One 1954D penny in mint state red condition graded MS67 Plus by PCGS sold for over $1,000 at auction. That's an incredible return for a coin many people overlook or dismiss as just pocket change. So, how can you tell if your 1954 Lincoln penny is worth money? Start by checking its condition. If it's shiny, has minimal scratches, and the details are crisp, especially Lincoln's hair and the wheat stalks, it may be uncirculated. Look for any unusual marks or doubling, especially around the date or letters. If you suspect it might be special, consider sending it in to a professional coin grading service, and remember, the value of coins can fluctuate depending on collector demand, metal prices, and market trends. Even if your penny isn't worth a fortune today, it might increase in value in the future, especially as more people recognize the beauty and history behind these vintage coins. To sum it up, the 1954 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny may not be made of gold or silver, but its value lies in its story, rarity, and condition. From everyday circulation to valuable collectibles, these pennies are a must-watch for any serious coin hunter. Don't pass them up. You could be holding a coin worth hundreds, maybe even more. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or interesting, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon so you never miss out on rare coin updates and price guides. Drop a comment below if you have a 1954 penny or want us to cover another coin next. Until next time, happy collecting and keep checking your change. Today, we're diving into a coin that many people overlook every day, but could be worth a surprising amount of money: the 1956 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. At first glance, it might seem like just another old penny. But coin collectors and treasure hunters know better. This humble 1-cent coin could fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on a few important factors. Let's take a deep look at why the 1956 Lincoln penny is more than just pocket change. First, let's talk history. The 1956 Lincoln penny belongs to the famous wheat cent series, which was minted from 1909 to 1958. These coins were designed by Victor David Brenner, and they were the first U.S. coins to feature a real person, none other than President Abraham Lincoln, in honor of his 100th birthday in 1909. The obverse side of the coin shows a detailed profile of Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse displays two wheat stalks along the edge, symbolizing prosperity and American agriculture. The words 1 cent in United States of America are proudly inscribed between the stalks, and E pluribus unum appears at the top. And now let's talk mint marks and varieties. In 1956, Lincoln pennies were minted in two places, Philadelphia and Denver. If your coin has no mint mark, it was minted in Philadelphia. If it has a small d under the date, it came from the Denver Mint. Most 1956 pennies were made in Denver, more than 1 billion coins, while Philadelphia produced over 420 million. But here's the twist. While billions were minted, not all were created equal. Some of these coins are now worth far more than 1 cent, especially if they're in pristine condition or have rare errors. So what should you look for? First up, condition matters. Coins are graded from poor to mint state 70. A 1956 penny in average circulated condition is generally worth just a few cents, maybe 5 to 25 cents. But if it's uncirculated, with sharp details and original luster, it could be worth much more. For example, a 1956 Lincoln penny graded MS65 read by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC can be worth around $15 to $30. That may not sound like much, but the value goes up dramatically with higher grades. A coin graded MS67 red can fetch $500 or more at auction. Now let's talk about the real moneymakers, error coins. Certain 1956 pennies were struck with minting errors that make them extremely valuable to collectors. One of the most famous is the double die obverse, where the date and lettering appear slightly doubled. These are rare and highly sought after. Depending on the severity of the doubling and the coin's condition, a 1956 double die penny can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Other valuable errors include off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, and die cracks. These can vary in value, but some have sold for over $1,000, especially if the error is dramatic and the coin is in good shape. To identify these valuable coins, it's a good idea to use a magnifying glass or microscope and check for signs of doubling, unusual spacing, or mint mark issues. And here's something many people overlook: the color of the coin. Lincoln pennies are made primarily of copper, and collectors classify their color into three categories: red, red-brown, and brown. Red coins, meaning they still have their original reddish mint luster, are the most valuable. So if you've got a bright red 1956 penny in mint state, hold on to it. It could be worth a lot more than you think. Let's look at some real auction results for 1956 Lincoln pennies. In 2019, a 1956 D penny graded MS67 red sold for over $1,000. Another example, a 1956 double die penny in top condition, brought in over $1,500 at auction. These are serious returns for a coin that most people ignore. So what's the current market value for the 1956 Lincoln penny? In circulated condition, most are worth between 5 and 25 cents. In uncirculated mint state, you can expect anywhere from $5 to $50. And for high-grade coins with rare errors or full red color, the value can soar into the hundreds or thousands of dollars. To sum it up, the 1956 Lincoln 1-cent penny may not seem like much at first, but it's a coin with hidden value. Whether you're digging through a jar of old change or inheriting a coin collection, be on the lookout for high-grade examples and minting errors. You never know, the little copper coin could end up being a treasure in disguise. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you never miss an update on rare and valuable coins. Share your thoughts or show off your finds in the comments below. Who knows, your coin might be featured in our next video. Until next time, keep hunting, and happy collecting. Today, we're diving deep into the story, details, and current market value of the famous 1957 Lincoln 1-cent penny. You may have seen one of these pennies in your pocket change or tucked away in an old coin jar. But what if I told you that some 1957 Lincoln pennies can actually be worth way more than just 1 cent? Stay tuned, because we're about to uncover everything you need to know about this incredible piece of American coinage history. Let's start with a bit of background. The 1957 Lincoln penny is part of the wheat cents series, which was produced by the United States Mint from 1909 to 1958. These coins are often referred to as wheat pennies because of the two stalks of wheat engraved on the reverse side. The obverse side features the iconic bust of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. The Lincoln wheat penny was the first American coin to feature a real historical figure on its face, a big change from the Lady Liberty designs that came before it, now focusing specifically on the year 1957. There were two main versions of this penny minted that year, the 1957 with no mint mark, which was minted in Philadelphia, and the 1957D, which was minted in Denver. Between the two mints, hundreds of millions of these coins were produced. That means finding a regular circulated 1957 penny isn't too hard, but that doesn't mean they're all worthless. In fact, there are a few key reasons some of these pennies can be worth big money. Let's talk about value. A common 1957 Lincoln wheat penny found in pocket change, with moderate wear, is usually worth about 3 to 10 cents, slightly more than face value. But uncirculated examples, coins that were never used and remain in mint condition, can fetch much higher prices. A brilliant uncirculated 1957 penny with full original luster might sell for anywhere from $1 to $5 or more, depending on its quality and grading. But here's where it gets interesting: the real money comes from rare errors and varieties. One of the most sought-after types of 1957 Lincoln pennies are those with minting errors. These include doubled dies, repunched mint marks, off-center strikes, and die cracks. A 1957 doubled die penny, for example, shows doubling on the letters or numbers, especially on "In God We Trust" or the date. These errors are rare, and collectors will pay a premium for them. Depending on the condition, a doubled die error can be worth from $50 to several $100. Then there's the repunched mint mark variety, known as RPM. This happens when the mint mark was stamped more than once in slightly different positions. A 1957D RPM penny in excellent condition can also be worth tens to hundreds of dollars, especially if graded by a professional coin grading service. Speaking of grading, that's another huge factor in determining a coin's value. A coin that's been certified by a trusted grading company like PCGS or NGC and given a high grade like MS65 or higher is always going to be worth more than a raw, ungraded coin. A 1957 Lincoln penny in MS67 condition can sometimes bring in over $100 at auction, especially if it's bright red in color with no blemishes or scratches. Now let's take a quick look at current market trends. As of right now, collectors are still actively buying and selling 1957 Lincoln pennies online and at coin shows. On eBay and other auction sites, you'll see average circulated 1957D pennies selling for a few cents, while high-grade examples can go for $20, $50, or even $100 depending on condition and variety. Rare errors and certified high-grade coins are the ones that really attract attention and high bids. So, what should you look for in your own collection or spare change? First, always check the date and mint mark. Next, look closely for any errors or unusual markings. If you think you have a double die or repunched mint mark, it may be worth getting your coin professionally appraised. Lastly, check the coin's condition. The more pristine it is, the more it might be worth. To wrap it all up, while most 1957 Lincoln pennies are common and not extremely valuable, some rare versions and high-grade examples can be worth serious money to collectors. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, the key is knowing what to look for and staying curious. Even a small 1-cent coin can hold big value, not just in money, but in history and beauty as well. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or interesting, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos about rare coins, coin values, and hidden treasures you might already own. Keep hunting, keep learning, and you just might find that hidden gem in your change. See you in the next video.